Update: my 24 male girlfriend, 21 female, wants to go on an out-of-state camping trip alone with another guy, 24 male. Original post: so I love my girlfriend and I do trust her, but every girlfriend that I've ever had has cheated on me, and I'm terribly insecure about her spending time alone with someone in a situation like this. We have been together for 2 years now. I met her my senior year of college because my college town was her hometown. I moved up to her college town to live with her after I graduated, and I found a job there. For months, she's been talking about us going to Maine to camp for a week for vacation with one of her best friends, let's call him Kyle, and his girlfriend. I've never met Kyle since she lives 2 hours from him now, but she was very open with me when I asked her about him. He's been one of her closest friends since middle school, and they liked each other for a bit throughout the years. In the summer after she graduated high school, she had sex with him. But it never went anywhere because she was going to school, and he ended up with this girl, his current girlfriend, let's call her Anna, soon after. They've been together since. So I was all down for a couples trip. Well, recently I found out the week that they had planned I'm being sent out of state for business and can't take it off. Now Kyle's girlfriend can't go either, so it will be just my girlfriend and Kyle on the coast of Maine, camping and spending time alone together for a week. I asked her what Anna thinks of this, and she said she's only met Anna a few times, that she knows my girlfriend and her boyfriend had a sexual past, but that it's okay because she trusts him and knows how excited my girlfriend and him are to catch up and see a new state. I want to tell her no, but I can't be that boyfriend. It's the only week that she has off between summer and fall semesters, and she said her friend Kyle is moving to North Carolina for a new job in September, so she will probably not see him for a very long time. It wouldn't be fair to expect her to stay home for her only week off from school because I have to go on a business trip either, but I can't help but to feel that it's unfair for me to run off with an old flame and current friend. It just seems really off to me. I've never met this guy, I don't know his motives, and he's going to be sleeping with my girlfriend and our dog in a tent for a week. How do I tell her I don't want them to go alone together without being a controlling douchebag? Thanks, Reddit. Now for the comments before reading the update. Tell her you don't feel comfortable with her going alone with a guy. Make it about your feelings, not about her cheating. OP says, I tried this at first. She just brushed it off, kinda. Worried boyfriend, I've known him most of my life. We've had these plans for months. Just because you can't suddenly go doesn't mean that I should rearrange my plans for my only week off for you when you won't be around anyway. I want to go to hike and see the cliffs and coasts, not to elope with a good friend. Well, do you feel you can trust her to not do anything? Will they be sleeping in separate tents? No, they would be sharing a 2-person tent. It's a backpacking trip, so obviously all their food, clothing, cooking supplies, water filtration system, gear, everything will be carried in backpacks for that week. As a fellow backpacker, I do understand that it's a ridiculous idea to ask them to buy a compact single-person tent expensive, and even more ridiculous to ask them to each bring their own 2-person tents. Too much of a load when they could divide it up. I trust her not to cheat, but something about spending a week alone in the forest with someone is just so intimate, and that scares the effing hell out of me. The trip alone just feels like emotional cheating. Maybe I'm overreacting. Now for the updates. Update 1. So I was overwhelmed with responses. Thanks everyone for the help. I decided to talk to her about my feelings and see how she dealt with them, telling her she needed to re-expand it to a group trip and not share a tent alone with him. Here's how it went. So she comes home and she's so excited to show me the new climbing gear that she bought for their trip. Great. I told her we need to talk about the trip and Kyle, and she looks a little worried. I prefaced the conversation asking more about her and Kyle's relationship. From what I gathered, they're closer than I thought. Yet this actually reassures me. She was his rock when his dad died, and he was hers when her best friend committed suicide. He has a place in her heart as a lifelong friend that no one else can fill, and I have one in hers as a lifelong partner that no one else can either. I have to suck it up and live with that. She seems to really like Anna, and Kyle apparently really likes me from their talks. They're happy the other found a great person and realized they weren't compatible anyway and only tried it out of loneliness thing after both lost important people. I can live with that. So I tell her I know it's impractical, but I don't want her sharing a tent with him. She says that's fine, completely reasonable of me to ask, and just wants me to be comfortable. She says that she can try and pack lighter in other aspects. Cool. So then I tell her the trip itself makes me uncomfortable, and why doesn't she invite someone else? She mentions that's okay, she can invite her friend Allie, who just got back from Colorado. They can just bring the 4-person tent, again for the 3 of them. Oh, but Allie's a very hot, very promiscuous lesbian and my girlfriend's first sexual encounter. Nope. Anyone else? Oh yeah, her friend Taylor. Maybe. But she'd be kind of a drag. Oh, that's okay. Used to hook up with Taylor too. At this point I realize it boils down to the fact that I'm just jealous, and I don't want my girlfriend alone with anyone who is attracted to her. Not because I don't trust her, but because I have this effed up mentality that I have to prove myself and be there to claim her or something. If I want this relationship to work, I have to force myself to get over that. This trip will help. So I tell her that, and she insists that she doesn't have to go if I'm really that insecure. We can take baby steps and work on it together. No, I say, I want you to go. Enjoy your week off. You earned it. So we decided we were going to drive down there next weekend to Kyle's. We were all going to hang out and properly meet, eat some dinner, drink some beers, play cards against humanity. Then Kyle and I will go out to the bar and get to know each other, and her and Anna will do whatever they want to do. If I don't like him, I will tell her and we will call it off. I think this will really help and make me more comfortable. In the end, my girlfriend's sexual past makes me uncomfortable, but I'm sure mine from my fraternity days scares the crap out of her too. But just like I only have eyes for her now, I know it's the same. She's still going to sleep in the same tent as him and said that she can probably rent some single tents from the University Outdoors Club. Way cool. You guys were all divided on whether to ask her to stay or to let her go, but I think we found a good compromise to make us feel better and still let her go. Final update. So we drove the 2 hours to Kyle's place so that I could meet him and Anna. I was pretty nervous to meet this guy, but he was actually really nice. We all hung out for a bit, pounded back some drinks, talked, played a card game. I paid a lot of attention to the dynamic between those 3. My girl had said that she didn't know Anna too well, but when she got there, she ran up and gave them both a hug, and you could swear her and Anna had been friends forever. Her and Kyle reminisced a lot about high school and caught up, and Anna didn't look uncomfortable about their friendship. So we're just hanging out for a while, all of us getting to know each other, and I had a good time. We get some pizza and our girls are already getting pretty drunk. Kyle and I decide to head out to the bar, and our girls are going to go to some party since Anna had no clue where her ID was. So we go, and this kid is buying me drinks the whole night. Turns out that we have a lot in common, and he felt like quite a kindred spirit. We talked about music and skating and had a pretty good talk. He told me he's proposing to Anna once him and my girlfriend get back from Maine, and how excited he is to start a new life with her in another state and yada yada. The drunker he got, the more he went on about how wonderful she was, which was pretty nice, I guess. He also talked a lot about how he's so sad we couldn't go anymore because he was looking forward to backpacking with all of us, and it just won't be the same without Anna there, and how my girlfriend says it won't be the same without me there. At one point, there was a group of these really drunk girls trying to talk to us and invite them to their place to hang out, and he pretty much told them to F off. When they left, he went on about how he hates sluts and the bar scene and how on earth could people possibly find a connection with someone in one night. He tried to reassure me that him and my girlfriend had no feelings for each other, and them hooking up was really effed up point in their lives, and he's upset that he even jeopardized a childhood friendship to mix something like that in the picture at the time. His dad had just died, and he was effing with heroin, that she had just lost her best friend to suicide and was self-harming, that they were effed up, lost, lonely, and desperately trying to fill a void that really couldn't be filled at that point. He also told me he's really glad that she found me and that I make her so happy, and that he hasn't seen her so happy in his life, that he really cares about her, so he's glad that she's got someone who makes her light up the way that I do. So we go to another bar, both run into some friends and play some pool. This kid just kept buying shots against my request, and I don't really remember too much after this. I just remember waking up in the middle of the night on Kyle's futon alone, rolling balls. It's like 4 a.m. I get up to use the bathroom and to see where my effing girlfriend and Kyle and Anna are. His bedroom light's on and I hear these really weird noises, like gasping noises. I'm starting to worry. Get off the futon, almost trip over Kyle who's passed out on the floor. Okay. Go into his bedroom and there's my girl and his girl in his bed. You know where this is going, right? Yeah, they're watching a Walk to Effing Remember and crying and holding each other and wiping tears from each other's faces. I can't make this shit up. Apparently we ended up going to this party after and meeting up with the girls and all doing a bunch of Molly together. I think everything went better than expected. When we got back home, Anna and my girl were texting constantly about how they wish they lived closer, and it's so rare to find girls that they get along with and all that shit. So I decide, yeah, I'm definitely going to let her go on this trip, and I did. She ended up borrowing 2 single-person backpacker tents from people in her university outing club that she's friends with, and off she went. I had a great time on my work trip. They stopped at an e-cafe once they got out of the woods to send us a big album of pictures, and they looked like they had a lot of fun. They found this place on the coast where the sand was all black, and my girlfriend brought some home for me as well as a really nice handmade hunting knife she bought from one of the old biker dudes that they met. They even took the time to draw this big picture in the sand that said, "We miss you, OP and Anna," which I thought was really sweet. I can say I truly honestly believe no form of betrayal happened from either party on that trip. This guy seemed like a really genuine guy when I visited. He posted pictures a few days ago of him proposing to his girlfriend, and even texted me that he can't wait to see me and my girl at the wedding next summer. Anna and my girl still text all the time, and I really find it hard to believe that A, my girl would do that to Anna and still be her friend now, B, Kyle would cheat on someone he wants to marry, C, that my girlfriend and Kyle did actually have feelings for each other and still real feelings over, and D, that Kyle was lying to me. I know for certain that she would have told me if anything happened, and I really didn't get that vibe from these people. I could see why he was her best guy friend. He was a really genuine giving soul. I'm really happy that I got over my insecurities and trusted her. I think this has made me a lot more secure in our relationship, and don't think that this was an emotional betrayal at all. I've learned to let her have her own life a bit more, and letting go has lifted a big weight off of my shoulders. We're currently planning for a short winter trip to the Smoky Mountains over her Christmas break, just us. And I got my promotion, and I'm now taking over the office in October. Life is good. Story 2. My husband feels bombarded, and I'm so tired, plus update. Original post. I just need to vent to people that might hear me for once. My husband leaves for work at 7:30 a.m. and gets home at 6 p.m. We have a 14-month-old son who just started daycare. I work from home full-time and am the breadwinner, but my job is very demanding. I walk my son to daycare, 0.3 miles from home, each morning when my husband leaves for work, and I pick him up at 4 p.m. His bedtime is 6 p.m., and he has been so tired from daycare that I have not been able to push him much past that so that my husband can spend some time with him at the end of the day. It sucks, but our son's sleep is most important. We are all currently sick. Again, I just started daycare and we all immediately got a cold. Yesterday, my husband called me at 5 p.m. while I was feeding my son dinner to tell me that he was coming home early. It's a 30-minute drive. I said, great, see you soon. Every night I feed my son dinner at 5 p.m. and then we go upstairs for a bath and bedtime after dinner. My son was especially tired and at about 5:15 p.m. started getting really fussy. I took him outside to walk around with me a bit while we waited for his dad to get home. Dad gets home at 5:30 p.m. We greet him. We are happy to see him. We go inside and I tell them that I've got coats and such from Costco today. Whatever. Our son is so exhausted. He bumps his nose on the floor and gets a nosebleed. I pick him up and ask my husband, do you want to give him a bath while I start dinner? His response is, I feel bombarded. I came home early because I did not feel good. I got lightheaded today at work. I say, okay, then I will give him a bath. Honestly, rather short but direct, our son needs a bath right now, so I will just do it. He then starts following me, saying he will give him a bath, but honestly, I do not want my husband caring for my son when he is in a bad mood. He has a very short temper and our son is 14 months. He tests a lot of boundaries. I undress her son and start drawing the bath. My husband is standing in the doorway and says, I just need to chug water and I'll give him a bath. I say, okay. He then apparently went and chugged water. I did not see him leave because I had my son in the bath and I was trying to get his hair washed before his father took over. Son doesn't like his hair being washed and I didn't want it to result in my husband being short with him after such a long day. He then says, do you want me to go start dinner? I say, sure, that would be great. If you don't mind, that would be really helpful. He says, I came home early to spend time with my son, so I would like to give him a bath. And I say, okay, great, I will go start dinner then. I then start dinner, he bathes our son and calls for me to take him out, and then gets him into the shower while I dry and dress her son and put him to bed. When we go downstairs, he says, I'm sorry, I didn't like the jacket you got me. I appreciate your thought. And I kind of cut him off and say, I appreciate that, but I'm not upset about that. I will return it, no big deal. I am upset that you said that you felt bombarded when I asked you if you wanted to give her son a bath. We then argue because he says this is him expressing his feelings and me blowing up at him about it. Would it kill him just to say, hey, I am sorry, I just need a minute because I had a really long day? Or I would love to give him a bath, but I just need a few minutes to unwind, or anything, aside from telling me that I'm bombarding him for asking him one question? And like what? Did you think you were going to come home at 5:30 and just relax, knowing it is bath and bedtime? I am so exhausted. I even apologize for being passive aggressive, owned that I was upset and didn't think that I could respond to him following me saying, I will give him a bath without snapping. And all he wants to do is beat a dead horse. As though 100% of the issue that evening was me not responding after I get told I am bombarding him for asking literally one question. No, he doesn't know the definition of bombarding clearly. I get, I'm sorry for saying that, but I don't think it's something I should have to apologize for because I was just saying how I felt. Like, that isn't an apology. Might as well just say that you don't care about my feelings, which, fun fact, he doesn't at all. I'm tired. I am so tired. Now for the update. Wow, thank you all for the responses. I didn't think that this would get as much traction as it did. A lot of you took the time to formulate really thoughtful responses, and I'm taking those to heart. I have called a couples counselor and am working on getting us into therapy. To address a few things that were repeatedly asked, called out in the comments. I do not believe that my son would ever hurt me or my son. That being said, he can be short. He does say things without thinking that I do think my son will someday very soon hear and potentially internalize. I have spoken to him about this and plan to try to address it more directly in therapy. The example, I usually get up and grab my son when he wakes up, but I was in the shower, so he did this one morning. My son was grumpy and my husband said, I get it. I shouldn't have even come to get you. I ruined your whole day. That just doesn't sit right with me. I'm overprotective about his emotional negligence because his dad is literally an evil man who emotionally abused my husband his entire life. My husband was a stay-at-home dad until 5 weeks ago. His work pays for daycare and our family's insurance. I pay for the mortgage, groceries, and all the bills. The reason I made the breadwinner comment and felt it was relevant is because I am currently sensitive to a situation. We got into a fight over the weekend because when he was a stay-at-home dad, I expected him to feed our son lunch and also clean up after it. This is when our son took 2-hour naps a day. Before daycare started, I had our son home for 5 days over 2 weeks completely by myself while also working. I fed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He bitched at me about not having dinner cleaned up when he got home. By the way, I also had dinner cooked for us. I explained I feed him dinner at 5, then bathe in bedtime. He gets home at 6, and I haven't even been back downstairs yet. He said this is a double standard because when he was a stay-at-home dad, I expected him to clean up after his lunch. I told him this is not a double standard because I am not a stay-at-home parent. I am a full-time working parent who is juggling taking care of her son while working a demanding job. He will die on this hill that this is a double standard. He says that by me saying it's apples and oranges, which it is, that I'm insulting him as a stay-at-home parent and saying it is easy. That is not what I'm saying, but I am doing literally the same thing and more because I work part-time in the office, was always there for breakfast, only missed dinner 3 times in 8 months, because I also have a full-time job. He is refusing to acknowledge this. I explained he should be happy to clean up dinner because it can be a way he contributes towards our son's care for the day while I care for him while he is at work. He is so angry about this. He packed a bag and threatened divorce. He has still not apologized. It has put me in a place that I feel very used, unappreciated, disregarded. I can't shake it. I have spoken to a couples counselor and we will go to find better ways to communicate because we are both terrible at it. I do not need this man. I love him so much, but I will be fine without him caring for our son. If he is unwilling to accept any responsibilities towards his anger, which he has not, every fight he tells me I'm 100% of the problem and he is none. He tells me couples therapy isn't fair because then he has to go even though he isn't part of the problem. Then I will be divorcing him and hopefully find a way to amicably co-parent. I will not be staying in this relationship long enough for it to emotionally damage my son. Nothing is more important to me than my son's physical and emotional safety. Thank you again to everyone who took the time to share their experiences and advice. I feel much less alone than I did this morning. A positive update from my bombarded husband and me, his tired wife. Hello everyone. I posed here a few months ago overwhelmed and exhausted, feeling very alone. I turned to this community and I'm so glad that I did. I really appreciated all the comments, even the ones that attacked me because they helped me put everything in perspective. We got into therapy together and it really changed everything. We were able to communicate, find closure, focus on gratitude. We found each other again. We are more in love than ever and I feel so happy and satisfied in my family dynamic. For Christmas, my husband got me a night at a hotel this weekend so I can read my book that just came out. Shout out to CC3 peeps. We are showing each other appreciation every day. It really couldn't be more different than that dark day I posted months ago. Anyway, this is just to say thank you to this community. Couples therapy saved my marriage, and I didn't really know this level of comfort and happiness existed for me. Thanks again. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.